What a get. 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 This is amazing right here.
Pinch.
All right, everybody. What's up, Leo? Welcome to episode number 59. We got something a little cool going on behind the scenes. Why don't you tell everybody what we're doing?
Yeah, we wanted to engage some more fans. We like to keep up with what's happening in social media. So if you go to Sudsy's Instagram live feed right now, you'll get a different angle, different view. I want to say hi to everybody watching online on our Instagram live feed. So go check it out. But if you want the full experience, you got to come on Facebook or and join Sudsy's athlete page, where you'll see all of our special guests. And of course, you can go to YouTube and get the same experience. But hey, Suds, just doing something extra for the fans. Give the people that don't always get on Facebook or can't get on Facebook. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, got a good show tonight. Got a lot of stuff to get to. So let's get cracking.
Yeah, well, we're going to get cracking. And before we go to our first guest, MC Mike Coulter, the three-wall ball director, I got to ask you, because there's a lot of people that want to know, what the hell happened to your Facebook, man? What'd you do? You got locked out. You can't get on. That matters. Big deal.
Yeah, listen, I don't want to get into details about that. Unfortunately, my personal Facebook was connected to the US Open Instagram. So hopefully trying to get that worked out. So for those of you that did not get banned or not off of Facebook, if you go try to search for me, you won't find me. If you've tagged me in anything, you'll see my name is grayed out. So I'm going to get that resolved soon. Facebook does not make it easy for you to enable a disabled account. So I'll keep you posted.
Well, hey, Zuckerberg, if you're listening or paying attention, Mark Zuckerberg probably watches our show, don't you think?
He does. Let me back in.
Yeah, Mark, what's going on here? Come on, get Leo back in. This is unacceptable. So, Leo, you're also fresh off the US Open in Minneapolis, which I didn't attend. We're going to talk a lot about that. I'm sure you got a lot to say about that. That's going to be pretty cool. But when we come right back here after a quick commercial, we're going to go with our first guest. Why don't you tell everybody who our first guest is?
You know what? Let's make it a surprise. Tonight, Suds, I really want to blow up the comments. Our shows are known for the fans. So tonight, hopefully, I want to hear more from the fans. You guys know what Suds and I put out on social media, but we think what really makes this show is the fans. So we're going to leave that chat side comment up. If you have questions, concerns, if you were at the US Open, we want to hear from you. And who do you think our first guest is tonight? So blow it up in the chat. Let's play that commercial and we'll be right back.
Be right back. Stay there. 20 seconds. All right, we are back, and we got him in finally. We've got the man, MC Mike Coulter, the three-wall ball genius. And not only that, but just a racquetball genius, somebody that's been doing it for years. MC, what's up, brother? How are you?
Hey, Suds. Hey, Leo. How you guys doing? Thanks for getting me back in tonight. Sorry about last week. My computer just wasn't up to speed to join your show, but thanks for getting me back in here again tonight.
Don't thank us. We thank you constantly. You know, you're a couple of weeks away from the coolest, biggest outdoor event in the country. And a quick update, guess what? Leo and I are going to be there. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm so excited about that. It's going to be a great add to this year's tournament. You know, like you said, you guys look forward to doing a recap every night at the tournament and doing some really cool interviews the way only you guys can do. I mean, it's a great added plus. You know, I know you didn't want to talk too much about it, but I want to make sure to say thanks, Keith, and thanks, Mike, from KWM and from Dovetail. They were two of our big sponsors already of the event and helped make it possible. And then I'll leave the rest of the talking about that to you. But thankful, like always, we've got some great sponsors.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, tell us about your other sponsors, though. You got AGE Solutions and ProKinex. How important are they to the event?
Yeah, they're obviously real important too. I mean, you know, Andy's been a friend of mine for about 10 years, and I'm actually pretty lucky. I've had some sponsors that have been involved since Suds was a kid when he first came on being a rookie playing indoors. I've got about a half a dozen sponsors that have been around for, 30-something years now that help out. And, they all pitch in a lot. And whenever I need something, I go back to them and kind of explain what I want to do. And they go, yeah, I want to do that. And had them involved for years. Andy's been a real good friend with AGE. Mike at ProKinex has been involved for a lot of years too, doing stuff. I mean, 20 plus years going back to the 90s. Raphael, he's gone through a couple companies and getting gearbox going. He's done a fantastic job with doing that. And then I also have MZ Contractor Company from San Antonio. Abel and Teresa have jumped in and helped out with not only Vegas, but they support all three events that I do, from Beach Bash to Huntington Beach and being involved here. And then we've also got another good friend that I met a few years ago. It was Roscoe Halsey from LPL Financial.
Yes.
My top big sponsors are there. And then, even Hedson got back involved. They took a break for a couple of years. From doing some stuff. They got back in a couple of years ago. And we're lucky to have, the majority of all the racquetball community all want to be part of this event. We want everybody to possibly be here and, make it all work out for everybody. This is a family tailgating style party event. And it's unlike anything else. You're going to, you've seen a couple pictures of it, but I think when you finally get out here to see the event, that you're going to be pretty amazed at what it is. Suds came out. I had the Sporting House back in the 90s. So, next to the US Open, I think this is one of the coolest events. And for the fact it's different in our own way, I think we're even a little bit cooler because we're out on Las Vegas Boulevard in a parking lot that I actually start transforming starting on this Wednesday. We'll take 2 weeks to build this, put all the courts up. And right now, I think we're somewhere between 15 and 18 courts we're going to be building for this year based on where the numbers are as we continue to go in this last week and a half to get signed up. I think earlier today when I looked at it, we're at about 260, 270 players. And, usually the racquetball players like to wait till the last minute. It makes it tough on all of us tournament directors when you get up to this large size to be planning, ordering food, to ordering shirts, to how many scale. And even for me, more so because based on how many players we got to have, it makes me build a few extra courts or not have to build as many courts. But we want to have a great time with that. And, just a lot of great things coming in. And this is a team effort. I can't emphasize that enough that I've had a group of people going back to when this first started was because of a couple indoor guys at the Stratosphere that helped me do the indoor tournaments and back working with my friend Hank Marcus who was doing war. He did a event on the USS Bowman Richard in an aircraft carrier in San Diego. They built one court and did that. And I said, if you can build one, I can build a bunch. Why can't we do that with my construction background? So we did that and it transformed. First year I had to use my paycheck the last Friday before the tournament to buy the last of the material to make it happen. And we had a lot of great supporters, but Dave and I walked around the property and Tom said, let's put this out here in the parking lot right on Las Vegas Boulevard. It's down the far north end of it, but it's still on Las Vegas Boulevard. And we are treated just like any other major sporting event in Las Vegas that people don't understand. If you're going to an MMA fight, I've got to pull those permits. I've got to, pull light towers. you know, we do all these extra things, you know, like you've asked. Wednesday night, we start with actually, let me say on Tuesday and Wednesday, we open up the courts for everybody to practice on to get some ready to do that. Then on Wednesday night, we do a pro-am and have that to benefit the Military Racquetball Federation. The money goes to them with playing with the pro. So it's a great time. You know, I can see Suds has got something you would like to say, and let me stop for a second, catch my breath, and let you guys ask a little bit about that.
MC, man, you know, you're never one short for words. I've known you a long time. I love talking to you. You know what my favorite thing is? I think you talk more than me, and I don't know if that's possible, but it's amazing because you give so much info. I was like, just keep going. Like, just no, don't stop. I want you to keep going. And, you know, I got to say, and, you know, Leo, we'll touch on this later, but MC, I think your event's actually the coolest in our sport right now, based on, I think, what we, you know, the U.S. Open changes, but that's, you know, a whole nother discussion. We'll talk about that in a little while. Mike, for the people that are watching that have never been there, like in simple terms, can you paint them a visual picture? Because I love it, man. I love walking down the strip. You see these big blue courts, you know, and we'll flash up some photos and videos here, you know, leading up to the event. But just kind of tell everybody as simply as you can what that looks like and what to expect if they've never been there before. And then obviously Leo and I can piggyback that because I've been there and I know what that's like.
Oh, absolutely. You know what, Suds? Hopefully it is last minute. I'm sorry not to be not paying attention. I'm actually pulling up one of the coolest pictures I got, and I am going to send it to you right now. And hopefully you're able to pull it off of your phone. And this is going to show you, this is a picture from the 25th floor up on the stratosphere looking across Las Vegas Boulevard. This is from the 25th floor pool up there. I just sent it to your phone, and hopefully you're able to do that. I know with technology you got that going on, but you're going to see this picture, and it's actually really cool. You know, I mean, it is so outrageous that, I mean, like I said, I think it's just neat as heck that we take a parking lot and we transform it into a club. And one of the things that we're going to do this year, I've had some drone pictures of it, but I found out technology is a little bit better than me. But my construction terms, we're going to put a GoPro up on one of the light towers and have it snap a picture every half an hour starting on Wednesday morning as we're going through building this. In the past, I usually jump off the Skytrack or forklift and send a picture to everybody of what's going on. But this will be a little bit better, so it's going to be kind of, if we speed it up enough, it'll be like the old days of when film first came to from pictures to film. And if you turn it fast enough, you'll see the courts getting built and put up and do that. So I think it'll be neat. You know, I think a lot of people don't understand it. There was a question the other day being surprised that these courts aren't up year round. Well, those courts aren't able to be up year round because that parking lot is a very, very valuable piece of property, and we couldn't afford to pay what it cost on that property to use that. So we're going to build that, and it takes us about 2 weeks to put it all up. And then we do the tournament for a week. And then on Sunday night at 4 o'clock, I'll have my construction crew coming in. We'll start tearing it down on Sunday. And by Wednesday afternoon, it'll be back to just a parking lot again until next year. And the only thing that's always really pretty cool, if you're up on the tower anytime throughout the year and you look down across the street to the parking lot, you can still see the shadow of where all the courts go. So that's kind of cool. I have people throughout the year that stop in at the Strat and they'll send me a messenger message. Hey, we're up here having dinner and looking across the street and we can see where the courts are. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's bittersweet. Leo, this is your first time. What are your questions for Mike? You know, you're going to be there as a fan. You'll be working. You know, what are some of the things you're excited about?
You know, I'm just kind of looking at the chat too. Before I get to mine, Brian Omlin has a question. At Vegas, is there one wall as well, and then handball?
Absolutely. So we have between 10 and 12 3-wall courts, and we'll have between 3 and 9 1-wall courts based on how much participation we have. As you'll see that picture, if Suds is able to put it up, you'll see on the very far end of that picture there that you'll be able to see that. And we have the 1-wall courts over there, and we also have one 1-wall court in the front where our championship courts are to doing that. We have racquetball, we have handball, and we have paddleball. So one of the things that's really cool about it, and the other really neat thing that we got is Squash 57 this year. Sudsy and Veronica were nice enough to help out with Tim Baghurst. He wanted to introduce a new sport in doing that. So in the handball part, we've got 3-wall big ball, and then we got 1-wall big ball, and there's the Pro Open division and a B division in there for players to play handball as well.
I'm thinking about going old school MC. Leo, I didn't even tell you this. You know, I looked at the handball, man. I really did. I'm like, I might have to enter like the men's B handball. I used to do that in my school all the time in New York City. That's, you know, I played it all the time. Maybe. Okay. What do you guys think? Should I enter handball?
Do it.
Sudsy, careful what you bite off there. I mean, those handball players that play all year long, nothing but outdoors, you know how much running you could possibly do. So, you know, that racket's a huge advantage. We did that the one year where we had Solstry and Joe Young play against Tyrone and one of the other guys, Handball. It was a neat little exhibition, but we had an advantage compared to the old school days back when Dunfield did it in the 70s.
We would not, listen, we're not letting somebody with their hand beat us with a racket. Unless it's just a, I've seen Tyrone. He's
Careful.
What's that guy's name? The handball guy. He's amazing.
Tyrone's amazing. You got Timbo out there. You got Samson. I mean, you got some of these guys that put on a phenomenal show. There's a guy called the Iceman from California. Juan Santos is just an unbelievable gentleman. I am so pleased when I watch those guys play and the excitement that they bring. I mean, if you watch in the first couple of years when we did this about 10 years ago, they have a guy named Shorty Ruiz that's from California that lives in Arizona now. These guys picked him up on the shoulders with about 50 to 75 guys just cheering him on.
Love it.
Going nuts, having a great time there. That's the enthusiasm and fun that the handball side brings to the tournament. And the great part about it is, you know, we've all been around racquetball forever, and I say this all the time, that, you know, racquetball in the day, we used to fight with the handball players to get off our courts, and they would do the same thing to us. But since we've all lost some of the courts, three-wall ball has brought us all together, and we're all fighting for our same courts to be used. So now the numbers are, you know, always not the greatest in one sport, but together it makes it better for everybody so that that can be known. And that's the great part about it, that we can, you know, all work together. So now a lot of guys, if you watch any of the outdoor tournaments, whether it's down in Florida or in California or here, you'll notice a lot of three-wall ball outdoors, and even the handball guys wearing stuff. It's great that we've created this family atmosphere. You know, when you guys know when you're watching sports, you know, I've watched some other sports. When you're watching the best players play, you could be playing tiddlywinks with a jack and some balls and doing it. When the best guys are doing it, it's phenomenal. And the same thing with the handball guys. So they respect and they stop and watch some of the racquetball guys, and now the racquetball guys are going over and watching handball. And then, you know, we got paddleball, which is phenomenal as well. And then now, you know, the new Squash 57 thing that, thanks to Tim and you guys want to do, we're introducing that to have some more fun. It's just about everybody having a great time. And, you know, that's not even including all the parties we get to as go on to the next days of the things we got going on. This is not just a racquetball tournament. You know, like I said, the Pro-Am's on Wednesday night. Then we go into Thursday and doing stuff. Thursday night, we got the ladies' night, which we stop all the ladies from playing after about 7 so they can get a head start on everybody going to the hotel, and they get to do the thing where, you know, 40, 50 women get together, and then everybody joins them in the party a little bit later, but they're drinking, having a little bit of fun doing that. Then come Friday, you know, we're going to have the Friday stuff going on, and then we do an ice cream social on that day and have a great time with that. And then Saturday, you know, we have some of these other matches going on and stuff, and then we'll actually have the military honor guard out there and do a flag ceremony. And then this year, added to it, we're actually adding the Halloween costume contest. We got 4 different divisions in there. There's a $250 first prize for each winner of that. We're going to have some judges for it. You know, I'm hoping that, you know, the ladies tour is excited as all heck. The picture you see up on there is going back to when they had a Halloween costume contest back in Boston a few years back with Stuart Solomon at his tournament. And they just love the idea. Since we're falling on Halloween weekend, we said, let's add that to Vegas, you know, for an hour or so. And then everybody being in Vegas, you know how many different balls and parties there are all over the town. I mean, you know, they get dressed up on an average week, and imagine what it's like on Halloween. And then,
yeah, I was going to say an average night in Vegas is like Halloween every night, you know, depending on where you're at, what's going on. But yeah, that should be pretty interesting. Leo, we got to talk about that since we're going to be there. I'm pretty sure we're going live with that Halloween costume and maybe some behind the scenes like we're doing right now on Instagram. Mike, tell everybody, you know, to sign up for the event, how much time they have left, where do they go to sign up, and any other important info that they, you know, you want to leave everybody with, because we're going, Leo and I are going to be there, and we can't wait And, you know, where can they sign up? What do they need to do? What else should they know?
Right on. So, yeah, with that said, you can go to the R2 website. There's a site on there. You can go to 3wallball.com, and you just go right on the web front page of that. We got a button to click onto, and it takes you right to the R2 sites, lets you know all the different sports and divisions you can sign up for. You can play up to 4 different divisions as long as one is a different sport. You know, you can play up to three-wall divisions, and then one has to be a 4-wall division. Or you can play 2 and 2. You just have to mix it up. One has to be a different variance of it, I guess, you know, so it can't all be 4 3-walls or 4 1-walls. And we do make an exception for the squash 57. You can play that as your 5th event because that'll be a Thursday, Friday deal to be pushing that as well. And we're only limiting that to about 8 teams, I believe, just to keep it under control for this year. But there's $3,000 in prize money in that. So that's pretty darn awesome too. So that's a cool part that's there. The hotel part, the Strat still has rooms available, but we've booked over 1,000 room nights at the Strat already for everybody. All you literally do is walk across the street, push the button where the crosswalk's at, come on over, and you're there at the hotel. Now, they still have some rooms available at the hotel, but unfortunately, people miss the really low, cheap rate. But I suggest still calling, and maybe you'll get lucky and sneak in doing that. You know, but we've got so many events in town that the rates have gone up. They had the rate all the way until the first of the month, and we kind of had the block close out. But there are still some rooms that are going to be a little bit pricier, so you might need to bunk up with a buddy and doing that. But the hotel's got, you know, restaurants up the kazoo. There's a half a dozen different bars in there, steakhouses, cafeteria. I mean, there's just all kinds of great stuff at the hotel. So get signed up onto that. Now you got until next weekend, and then I think there's a late registration for a couple of days after that. But go ahead and get signed up on that. If you got any questions, reach out to Peggy. Her number's on there as well. She'll help you walk you through that. Even if you don't have a partner right now, get signed up for the division. You can always ask to be looking for a partner, and you know we'll do the best we can to partner you up.
Partner. We'll touch on that. Yeah. You know, there's a rumor I might need a partner. I just don't know what division for yet.
Well, hey, Suds, you got 4 divisions to choose from. You know, whether you got one great partner, you got a sponsor partner, you got a buddy that you want to play with that's been supporting you all these years. One of the neat things is the pros all play in the pro divisions for that. But then we've got that 75 and 100+ combined division that we've got some great pro guys playing with some other guys that have always helped them out throughout their careers. So it's kind of a pro-am within itself in the tournament and makes it a lot of fun. Like I said, if you take a look at all the things we do at this event, there is a bunch. And hey, even if you're not playing in the tournament anymore, we are in Vegas. Imagine all the other things that we have going on, from concerts to sporting events to health spas to the best restaurants in the world. You know, things always change here. So even if, you know, you take 3-4 years off, you know, yourself, Suds, you came here in the 90s, starting when we did those pro nationals back at the Sporting House. How many times you've been back here since then? Maybe a half a dozen, 10 times. Every time you come back, what's the skyline look like? Something completely different. We are constantly changing, updating. Leo, I think
it's all I don't know. It's a blur. Every time I look at the skyline in Vegas, it's a little bit blurry.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember, Leo, I think you made a statement on one of the shows the last time you were to Vegas is when the Sporting House was still standing for the national doubles event they did there. You know, that was the last year that the Sporting, you know, and we have changed, correct? I mean, but I mean, Sudsy was here before he was old enough to have a driver's license and playing there when he first started playing pro. Him and Jason Menino, you had to run around and watch them. We'll just say misbehave a little bit, but keep them within control.
You know what, Leo? MC is going to be a guest on our 24-hour Beyond the
For
Court.
sure.
And we're just going to let Mike tell stories. So, Mike, I don't know if you know this, but Leo and I are planning a 24-hour consecutive Beyond the Court, which, let's be honest, it's going to be a straight-up fundraiser for Leo and I for all year of what we do here and, you know, all the expenses. But we'll talk about that later. But, Mike, we're locking you in as a guest. And I think you're going to be a good guest because we're going to give you the floor and you're just going to tell Vegas stories.
Hey, you better be careful of the Vegas stories, I say. Remember, everything doesn't always stay in Vegas. It happens in Vegas.
Trust me. I know that's a false statement. All right, Mike, we're going to let you go. Leo and I, we're going to post the link on the R2 into this comment section here. Leo's amazing at all that. But MC, before we let you go, anything else you want to tell everybody?
No, just get signed up and look forward to having a great time. We look forward to everybody coming out. This is like a tailgate party at a football game. And remember, daytime is one thing, playing underneath the lights is another. Right now, we're still into the low 90s. We expect the temperatures to be in the mid to low 80s during the daytime, and the 70s in the evening time. So Vegas is great. Appreciate everybody coming out. Been doing this a long time. We have a lot of great fans. We've probably got about 100 people that play in this tournament that have made all 12 events prior to this out of everybody there. So my goal was to get between 400 and 500 players this year. I sure hope we get to that number. Anybody that's sitting on the fence, I'll just say next year's never promised to anybody. I don't have a contract in hand yet. By enough people signed up to this year, it tells me that we need to keep doing it and keep making it happen here on the Strip. So thanks again for having me on there. I'll get out of your way for tonight. I'll catch back up with you there. Maybe we'll have a chance to talk one more time before the tournament comes. I start building on Wednesday this week, but we'll touch base and then talk about plans on everything to be exciting for everybody and have a great time. Even for those that don't make it, a lot of great streaming and updates by you guys and everybody else. But I thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, Mike, before we let you go, though, two things. One, I noticed you had a call for volunteers, and then you also put out a post about the VIP experience.
Thank you very much for asking about that. Yeah, you can never have enough volunteers to do stuff to keep a tournament running on time. I don't like to ask a lot of people, but Peggy asked for some help. And, it's really helpful if we even just get a couple of court monitors, a couple of volunteers to ref. Hey, if you want to referee early in the day to start out to help us stay on time, you'll get taken off the list to have to be there later in the day and doing that. So help us stay on time. That's one of the big things that we, chase the referees down. So one of the things that we're going to institute this year and make it responsible for all the pros that are playing, we're going to make that the losers in the pro divisions have to do the reffing to give them a break. And in the amateur divisions, the only way we can hold people accountable to make sure they show up for the next match is by refereeing. So, let's help everybody out. We're not trying to use the word punish anybody. We're trying to keep everything on time. The other thing I was going to laugh about, I appreciate you asking about the VIP area. Be careful what you said to me in the beginning about being careful about the green room. That's going to be a nice area up on top this year. We got a hostess up there. We're going to have some adult beverages up there, some food. That's where our sponsors get to be in. We only have, 20 total tickets that I was willing to sell to that area because I want to keep it a hospitable area. We're going to have a hostess up there dealing with all of our sponsors and our VIPs. The rest of the tournament's open for free for people to watch. But if you want to sit up in the skyboxes where the TV viewings from at and interact with some of our sponsors, you got to help us out because it is an expensive tournament. I think one of the things people don't realize, we will spend between $150,000 and $200,000 putting this tournament on, and only $50,000, a little less than $50,000 is prize money. But people don't realize here. I spend $2,500 on fuel to run towers. Everything's a 20% increase. I'm sure that my number is going to almost double this year. Everything that I've so far bought into this year, everything is anywhere from a 20 to 30% increase, and we did not raise entry fees one dime again this year. To do it, and appreciate everybody being there. So the VIP boxes, there's about 5 spots left up there to buy. We'd appreciate
get them now because I'm going to be up there a lot.
Yes.
So there might be only 4 spots. MC, and when you're in Vegas, a host is mandatory. So if I didn't have Toby DeCesar back in the day, I got nothing.
Yep.
So that's
nice
pretty
touch.
awesome. So there's only 5 spots left for the VIP.
Yes.
If you're going, go buy that immediately. Contact MC. What's the cost on that, Mike?
That's $400, but that going to include the VIP parking free to go into. It's going to be free, like I said, adult beverages from 11 in the morning till 9 at night when we're doing stuff. You get to sit up there where the sky boxes are at. The hostess is going to be there to have some extra food. The players get a meal on Friday and Saturday, but we'll have extra food up there for everybody that's there. And I said it, adult beverages, so you can understand what that means, and we'll have a nice hostess up there. Yeah. Leo tried to shut me out in the green room tonight. I go, it's going to bite him in the butt when he finds out he's got to restrict it on his VIP badge for up there.
I'll be drinking out of a sippy cup.
Leo's going to find out the hard way what it's like to deal with Mike.
Yeah. I'll fill him in.
There you go. All good stuff. Well, hey, that's really pretty much recap. I appreciate that. We'll get on there one more time. Like I said, I start building on Wednesday, and we'll start posting some stuff up to show everybody what's going on. But if there's anything we can do to make the trip better for anybody, please reach out to Peggy. We're here to make this a fun event for everybody, no matter what sport you play. This is a family fun atmosphere. and it's just a great time. You know, playing the sports is a bonus, but just having a great time when you come to Vegas. So I appreciate you having me on the show, and we really look forward to making the 22 three-wall ball the very best tournament for the entire year of 22. And then we're putting stuff together for next year already. But thank you very much for having me on the show.
Our pleasure, Mike. We will certainly have you back before. Leo and I are going to do all we can to promote it. We're going to be there. We're excited. You know, obviously I wasn't at the US Open in Minneapolis. Leo was. We're going to talk about that next, but I wasn't going to miss this. And, you know, again, thanks to Keith Miner, KWM, Mike Kinkin, for Leo, of course, and really you too, Mike. It's a testament to you because, you know, you and I we've known each other a long time, and I know you wanted me there. I know I wanted to be there, and I appreciate it. So I'm going to see you soon, and we'll talk more shortly. All right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to say, yeah, I think we're at about 28, 29 years now knowing. I've known you since about 94. Your first times of coming out where you were just a little bit bigger than carrying your bag and your racket when you showed up.
Save it for the 24-hour Beyond the Court. It's going to be unrated. It's going to be no rated, that show.
Yeah.
All right.
Uncut.
We'll talk.
You know, I can pull some stories out from Vegas that I've always had to keep zipped. So thanks, guys.
All right. Well, with that, I don't know if Veronica's watching. We're going to take a quick commercial. Leo and I will be right back. Mike, thank you. We'll be right back.
Thanks.
Man, I love having Mike on there, Leo, because he takes a lot of the talking away for us. But check this out from Dr. Warrigon, and I'm sorry Mike missed it.
Look how cool is that? Let me read this.
How awesome is
Reserve
that?
one VIP seat, because we have Instagram live viewers behind the scenes. Slimo Oregon says, reserve one VIP seat for me. I understand the cost of running a big tournament. Budget numbers rarely translate into reality, and one is lucky if they can break even these days. Forget profit.
Amen to that,
Yeah.
brother. Well, that's pretty cool. All right, man. Mike Coulter, it's going to be an amazing event, Leo. I'm excited that we're going out. We're going to do a lot of work. We're going to bring all we can for the fans. You know, we're going to be doing, we have some cool plans. We'll talk about it later, but go to the event. It's pretty awesome. And Leo, let's get right into the next topic.
Yeah, let's do that. I mean, I'm so high. I was just listening to Mike. I was getting all hyped up. You know, I was like,
no, it's good
he's
stuff.
telling me everything about the event and what it's going to be like in the VIP. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, the VIP sounds pretty cool. I hope we're able to gain access to that. I think we will.
I'll be roaming around. I'll be roaming around. Okay.
I think listen, if my Yankees are doing well, I don't mind. You know, the Yankees start up here Tuesday.
Oh, we'll have it pulled up. We'll be watching it.
Well, if they're playing then, it's a good thing. So let's hope so. All right.
All right. Thanks again to Mike Coulter. Mike, for coming in. Get with you again. Don't forget 3wallball.com. Look, I'm not playing in the tournament. I am going to go work. But if you just want to come to Vegas and come to the tournament, you still can. I just booked a flight. Like Mike said, get the room, come down, hang out with us. Okay. Next topic it's a hot topic. And this is a topic that I really want to hear from the fans, because there's a lot of people on the show that were at the US Open this year. We got a lot of messages, you and I. I went to the event. I was there. I want to share some of my thoughts. But if you were watching the show tonight, we want to hear the good and the bad. We want to hear both sides. Obviously, some of you loved it. Some of you didn't like certain things about the US Open. You know, you and I both have a lot of friends and that were also there. Some people were afraid to speak out and some people weren't. So, we're not here to beat anybody up, but after listening to Coulter and having a hostess and the extra food, those were things that were not at the US Open that I saw. Let's pull up the chat, because we definitely want to hear from the fans that were there. So if you were there, Let us know in the chat what you thought were the best things about the U.S. Open, and maybe some of the things that you thought were the worst things about the U.S. Open. Suds?
Let me start.
Yeah,
Let me start, Leo, with just a few comments. Obviously I wasn't there, and I was in constant contact with many people, players, people working the event, guests, and yeah, I got to be honest. There was a lot of feedback, and it would be easy to sit here and bash the event. Let's be honest, because the truth is the event just isn't and might never be what Doug Ganem did and what that U.S. Open was for 25 years. But it's more about it was different. What I think isn't fair and is a little misleading, Leo, and you were there. When somebody says it was the greatest U.S. Open ever,
that's not true.
Is that disingenuous?
That's not true.
You were
That's
there.
not true. I'll say it.
So
Slimo has a question right there. How was the recent U.S. Open without the stadium court? We'll start with that because we're going to hear from. I want to listen to the fans tonight, and we'll react and give a response to those questions. Sudsy, you weren't there. You were at home. You watched some of the matches. How was it without the stadium court as somebody watching from home for you?
It just looked like another tournament. Yeah. Sadly, it just looked like another event. That was some of the feedback that I got from a bunch of the pro players. And then some amateurs that returned and that were viewers, and we'll show, producer in the back, and Leo, you guys are amazing at being able to flash up these chats. I guess you got it running there. I got that from a lot of the players. They said it just feels like another event. And, hey, it's not about pointing fingers, right? Like, this is what I don't like, Leo. Don't take this personally, USAR. We're having conversations, and I think that's the best way to really improve, right? And to progress. We have to talk about these things. And let's be honest, the fact that the court wasn't there, it sucked. We know for sure it costs whatever. It doesn't matter what it costs, right? Like, that's not your job, our job, the fans' job. It's whoever's running the event's job to make those things happen. And the $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 it costs to put that court up and take it down, you and I aren't getting paid to do that, right? That's somebody else's job. But I think that the fans deserve to know and see what it was like to hear. Look at the chat. The chat's blowing up right now. But for me watching, it was just another event. And for a lot of the players competing, Leo, that's what I didn't like, but we expected that. It's kind of why I called Daniel as an early upset. And I said, I thought Daniel, I picked him to lose that match to Rodrigo. I said, I think he's one of those players that's going to be affected by, it just doesn't feel like the U.S. Open, and he's going to play down a little bit. You were there.
Yeah, definitely different without the court. I won't hang my hat too high on that because you really can't compare it. That's why I like Jen O'Meara's comment. I'm just going to leave it at that. There is no comparison. You can't compare where we were to what the show court brought. It brought just a different element to the event. So Jen says she liked the U of M. I liked the U of M. I did like the facility. If you stayed at the Graduate, it was perfect. It was wide open. Courts were great. The viewing was a little crowded because of the accommodations that they tried to make for the show courts for the men and the women pros. Like she said, it was a little narrow on that one side. Let's get some more comments up. It was just another event, but it was a great event, just not the U.S. Open feel. I think that was kind of the sentiment.
Yeah, Jaime, that's a great point. It's okay, right? Like, it's okay. I see Steve Castleberry commented something, Leo, too, where he said no other event crowns U.S. Open champions. But okay, cool. Like, I get that. Todd Boss had said to me a couple times how still at the end of the day, it will say next to Conrado's name, it will say U.S. Open champion. And there is something to that. I agree. But part of the U.S. Open is the event and the experience. Good. I see you smiling. What do you got? You're mute. Hey, you're muted. You're muted on the. There you go.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
There we go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm seeing some comments and someone else just privately messaged me. I guess they don't want to comment in the chat, but you know, like Sarah said, she kind of missed some streaming and going on. You know, I wished I would have done a little bit more, but for those of you that do not know, I was not part of the U.S. Open media staff this year. So that's probably why you didn't see as much from me. I was there to promote Team Dovetail and work for Headpan at our booth. So, you know, you didn't see as much as you normally saw, but that's because I was not part of this, you know, the staff like Doug, you know, would bring me down and pay me. You know, Doug paid me good money to come down and over promote the U.S. Open. So I was not part of that. So that's probably why maybe from the media side, you may have not seen as much, but I thought Fabio did an amazing job. Maripa does an amazing job of the tours, but I think for the fan experience itself, I know Dylan and Enrique were there. They were taking cool photos, cool videos.
They were awesome. They were great.
Yeah, they do great stuff, but there's still that extra element of the social media part. And, you know, we always, as a team, you know, myself, Jeff Oliver, Kevin Savory, Evan Pritchard, we were a team, and we were not together at this event. So that's probably why you didn't see as much on the inside from a fan experience, because, you know, we weren't there. I was hoping to see a little bit more as well. They did do a daily racket.
I didn't see any of that, Leo. I know for you.
I know I'm hesitating. I know because
you should, because you know people are going to read it like, again, Steve Castleberry, with all due respect, you know, like, no, stop sugarcoating it. That's inaccurate. I know the U.S. Open golf is played on a different course and it's a different feel. No, it's not. It's still this exciting. I'll give you the example, Steve.
Yeah.
The U.S. Open for us used to be considered our Super Bowl. And that just isn't the feel right now. So guess what? This is an opportunity for everyone at USA Racquetball, or anyone that has anything to do with the US Open, to bring back that feel. Okay? We don't stop. No, it's not. That's a bad comparison, Steve. And with all due respect, buddy, I appreciate that. I think it's important, you know, we have these conversations as always. But no, it's not. It's not a different feel. It's just different. And I'm not sure if you've been to other US Opens, you know, in Memphis or prior to this year's. And it's okay. You know, I guess the question is, Leo, also in the chat box, what is the Super Bowl? Super Bowl, NFL Super Bowl?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, so same comparison. You know, people used to ask me, they quit asking me after a while. But when I first took on this media role at the US Open, it was the same for me. And every year after that, I wore tie, slack. I would refresh my wardrobe right before the US Open. So a lot of you that knew me, saw me, you saw Doug Ganem, you saw Pete, you saw Chris, you saw those guys wearing jackets. You know, we treated it like it was the US Open. And people used to ask me that, why do you dress up? Because it's the US Open. All right. I took my role very seriously there. You know, going back to the daily racket of the newsletter, Jeff Oliver, the lead on that, we put a lot of time into that, a lot of effort, and we were pretty proud of that piece. And we published it, we printed it every day, and we put it on the VIP tables when you came in. Now this year they had where you could scan it. I get it. It was a bigger production. Look, Doug would go rent a copy machine for a week and all the toner we needed. We go buy all the paper, and we would just, you know, I don't know what they did this year. Maybe they were just a little short on help, and that's probably why some of these things didn't get done. So,
you know, one of the things I hear a lot about are the money issues, right? Is we need more money, we need more money, and they did a good job at somehow putting together a VIP, you know, VIP boxes or VIP area, and of course, again, you know, we spoke to many of the VIP box and table owners. I see Mike Kinkin's in there. So Mike, you know, you're a VIP. Feel free to comment. I got a lot of not great feedback about that, Leo. And that's what scares me. You know, those, I think you really have to pay attention to those people that are spending $2,000 or $3,000 for a table, because that goes directly, obviously, towards the event, towards all this money that you need to make these things happen. But it sounds like the ball might have been dropped there. Am I off? Am I out of line saying that?
You know, I don't want to say too much, but I will share this. The last time that I spoke to Doug was the Monday last year's US Open. You know, Sunday it's over. Monday we all show up, we help out a little bit, and then we say our goodbyes. And that was the last time that I talked to Doug. You know, we shared a private conversation. And then on Friday, I was walking from the hotel to the university Friday morning, and my phone rang, and I looked down, and it was Doug. And I was so excited. You know, I should have reached out to him before, but I didn't. You know, it's crazy. And there were two questions that Doug asked me right off the bat. And the very first question was, he asked me, how is the fan experience and for the fans and the players? How is it? And he wanted to know that. The second question he asked me, and he said it just like this: how are my VIPs? Because
He
Doug,
took them personally. Yeah, his
those
VIPs
were his people.
were his people. You know, they did so much, and what a lot of fans don't even realize that were there, and some that I see commenting in the chat room, you know, they don't realize that a lot of those VIPs not only spend that money for those boxes, which immediately helps the event itself, but they do a lot more for the event also to make the experience better. So Doug was a master relationship manager, and making sure that those people were catered to, really. And like, you can't fault them for that. You know, I mean, they made the event go. So, you know, it was really cool. And let me ask you this, Leo, because I don't want, and we're going to get this. We know we're going to get it, but I guess that's why, you know, we get 60, 70, 80, sometimes 100 people watching our show, and, you know, a few hundred comments and engagement, and maybe USARs gets a couple dozen people watching, because we try to talk about the things maybe that are tough to talk about, but they're honest and open. You know, a couple questions for you, Leo. I actually asked you this and a couple other people, you know, trying to find the good in it. Number one, would you go back? Will you go back as is? And tell me some good things about it. I want to know some good things about it. So, and the fans that you're watching, you know, I want to know some good things. We don't want to just know the bad. Tell us the good stuff too. Tell us, are you going to go back? You know, Jaime Torres, Brian, are you going back? Jen, are you going back? We really want to know. Ron, thank you for that. It's important because it's up to the fans. The fans are the ones that speak. And Leo, again, you were there, so you can talk more about that.
Yeah, even though even though Doug was the event director, executive director of that event, whatever you want to call him, Doug was the hostess. Doug was constantly walking around that VIP area, sitting down with people, talking to people, you know, maybe even, you know, catching a waitress. Hey, come here real quick. You know, make sure you take care of these guys. I mean, Doug was easy to find because he was always around the show court. Which is where the VIP tables were.
Yeah, his office was right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I was just kind of replying to Brian's comment about that. Good things. Day one, the food was good. The first day, the Mediterranean food was really good. I thought the menu was great. They did have some Chick-fil-A. They had some tacos. They had some like a Raising Cane's type of meal. One of the meals I wasn't too impressed with. I think it was the Saturday night meal. It looked like just maybe some charcuterie boards. I didn't see that really being a meal, but you know.
I want something good. And if you can't give it to me, I'm going to look for somebody else here. I don't know. Jaime, what do you got? I mean, can we get Jaime in here? Jaime was there. Jaime, if we email you an invite, would you come in here? You were there, and you posted something really informative. If we email you an invite, what do you think? Can we get him
Yeah.
on, Leo?
Yeah, the facility was great. Let's say that. The club was great. The hotel was great. The match scheduling wasn't great. I mean, I'm just kind of funneling through things because I was there every day. The rooms kind of being far apart was not good. You had a player hospitality village that was, up and way around the corner. Then you had a VIP room that really didn't have much going. Here we go. We're getting some comments.
Hey, Leo, I wasn't there. Party with the pros. We spoke about this.
Yes.
Let me tell everybody about it the way it was for us when I was one of the pros. The party with the pros was mandatory. So the top 16 men and women, we had to be there. And guess what, Leo? If we weren't there, we got fined. And we didn't get fined $1. We would be fined. I could be fined as the #1 player in the world $1,000 for not going literally to show face at the party with the pros. They would introduce us. It was pretty awesome. Everybody was really into it. The party with the pros on Saturday night, was it a party with the pros?
No. So, that was in the match scheduling. So with so many good matches, besides, the things we're talking about, all the best players in the world are still playing at the University of Minnesota. So we're the best fans in the world. So we were all there. We were watching Jake and Rodrigo, and we were watching the matches and the Conrado match. I mean, we didn't want to leave. So, when you're talking about going to a party, you're talking about watching pros, we all stayed and we watched the pros. But unfortunately, the matches ran so late that not only did it run into the party, it was just so late. We were just tired, long day, a lot of matches, a lot of watching, a lot of walking. So at the end of the night, we all just went back to either to the hotel or some of us went out to eat. So it's hard. It's not anybody's fault that planned the party. It's the scheduling. It's the matches. They just went too long, and there's reasons for that.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I think even though, I remember going into player parties or the Saturday night banquet, could have been 10, 11 o'clock at night. If, it just didn't matter. We treated it professionally. And I wish, I would even, Leo, put the onus on the players. If I was in there and some sort of a decision-making role or leadership role, I don't care what the match schedule looked like. I would make sure the players were there, and I would do whatever I have to because I want the fans and the players to get that experience to hang out with those players. So anyway, that's my thought.
Got another comment from Bob. And Bob had another comment too, that he said that the reason that the Saturday night food was only like the cheese boards was because there was a Saturday night player with the player pro party. And then now Bob says the player village with the vendors was to be separated from the player traffic.
Yeah, I heard it
like that.
Pretty widespread out. Leo, can Jaime message you his
It's
email?
Jamie.
Jamie, I'm sorry, Jamie.
Yeah.
Can Jamie message you his email, and then if you want, you could send him an invite. Let him come in as somebody that was there as a fan, as a fan player. Bring him in for a couple minutes. Let him talk about that, and then see, what their experience was. I would love to hear somebody that had an amazing experience. But I also, whether it was your first U.S. Open or your last U.S. Open or your 20th U.S. Open, Bob Frazier, Alabama, does a ton of work.
Oh, he says it's too separated. I'm sorry. He misspoke on his thing. Yeah, I agree, Bob. It was a little separated. It was a little far.
That's an interesting comment from Jen too about the player village, how, right, like the player village was the center attraction. And that's kind of where everything went on. I mean, I remember playing ping pong against like Alvaro and Rocky one time, and all of a sudden we had, a crowd you would have thought was watching the finals of the U.S. Open. It was super cool. There was always a ton of energy there, and I understand that. So you know what? Hopefully,
ping pong tables. I missed the ping pong tables in there. 1 year Doug had a screen so you could see the show court match. Yeah, just a different vibe in there.
There you go. JD Shelton says one great thing was equal prize money for the IRT and LPRT. There you go. That's a great thing. Got the equal prize money and should make a lot of people happy.
Well, it should make the women happy, and I'm all for that too.
I'm all for it.
It was nice. I would have liked to.
Nobody's dating me on that. I'm all for it.
Yeah, no, I'm for it. I just wish the women would have had more entries. I understand that some of these countries are having some funding issues, and I will say that I didn't like the women almost still being kind of shoved in the corner. They put up the drapery. I understand what you had to do for the VIPs, but that hallway was really narrow. There was some sidewall viewing for the women's matches, but I still felt like they just, with that just little narrow hallway on their court right there, I just felt like they, but hey, it is what it is because there wasn't much you could do with the space that you had. So.
Well, hopefully they can fix these things. There was a lot of feedback we got. Sadly, I'm not going to lie, and I know you're not. It was more negative than it was positive, but whatever. Get better, fix it. Hopefully it will. Hopefully it'll be a better tournament. It'll be a kick-ass event. Let's talk a little bit about that. I think a highlight was Erica Mania getting to the finals. And Leo, for me, it's so important that U.S. players do well and perform well. And we just saw Jake get to the finals this weekend out in California. I think that was important. I think it's great to see that because let's be honest, man, all the money that's being thrown into the sport is still coming from the United States. And we need to have U.S. players doing well. We do.
Yeah, I agree. I know at one point the IRT, was really high on Latin and South American players, especially Bolivia, Colombia, Mexico. But I have heard from sponsors that, the U.S. companies are the ones that are the sponsors and putting all the money into these tournaments. So it made them feel like, they would like to see more U.S. players being featured.
Yeah, that's not that, but that's true. That's not something to hide. That's where the money's coming from. So when you have the top players from here battling it out or with that potential, it's going to continue to bring money in. I mean, we know how well racquetball does internationally, but how much is that helping from a financial standpoint for a lot of these players that aren't able to do this full time or anymore at all? I mean, hey, Alex didn't play in this last event. Daniel wasn't in this last event. Yeah, the money certainly matters. And I love seeing, Erica is doing well. I love seeing that Jake just did well in this last one. And I think it's important, man. I think that's good. That's a positive. We got to do that. Erica and Natalia winning the doubles, beating Samantha and Paola.
Yeah, that was pretty huge. The energy was good. I do feel like the women brought a little bit more energy to the table at this event. They shine. They played hard. Not saying that the men didn't, but it just seems like the women just kind of raised that level just a notch above the men, and then the matches, like you said, Erica, I think is, playing the best racquetball of her life right now. I picked those, my bracket came out perfect. I picked Paola and Erica in the finals. When I saw Erica at the tournament, I went up to her before the tournament started, and I like this. I went up to her and had some talk with her, and then I said, hey, I don't know if you watched, Beyond the Court, but I actually picked you and Paola, in the finals for my bracket. And she says, oh, good. Well, that's great. She goes, I'm picking myself to win. So I like that. I like the energy. I like the confidence. Yeah, absolutely.
You better pick yourself to win if you want to win. That's what you need to do. But with that said, let me tell you, and if she is watching or anyone, she's got a couple things to work on, Leo. She's got a few things she's got to tighten up, in my opinion. Little mental. I was going to say mentical. Little mental. Some mechanical things, some footwork things. Just a little bit of what it's going to take her to push her over the edge to become potentially the #1 player in the world. And I think she's in a crucial kind of a moment where she has to decide if she's willing to do what it takes to become that, and really do that. We'll see. How about Conrado? I mean, I told you, He's without Kane there. Conrado's the second best player in the world. He showed it there, and he showed it again this weekend. He has every weapon, every tool, everything it takes to be number one. Let's see if he does it.
Yeah, well, he's doing it. As well as anybody, it's tough to win the U.S. Open and then do what he just did this weekend, was to win the next event on the schedule. How far can he go? I know Daniel De La Rosa did the same thing. I think last year he won like 3 events in a row, and then the road got a little tougher for him. So I'm looking for Conrado to keep it going. I think he knows exactly what he wants. He knows where he's at, and I think he sees what he's capable of doing.
Yeah, I think he is. It's just whether or not he decides, like, I want to be the best player in the world. There's not many players that I believe right now, all things being equal, can hang with him. I think he's just that good right now. I talk highly about Conrado. He's got every weapon, every tool. If he keeps it together, Leo, we could see a historic run. Some of the greats in the history. I saw somebody earlier comment about a back-to-back win. Some of the greats, you hit 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in a row. All of a sudden, you're being talked about. So I think he's capable of that. Let's see if he can do it. I don't know how much it's going to help or hurt that the next event is spread so far out. We'll see. So I don't know. Jeff Wright, he says, much respect to Conrado. Love watching his skills, but could he beat Ellis in his prime? Jeff, I've been on the court with both of them a few times. I have John Ellis as one of the top 5 in the history of the game, history of the sport. I think that if you sprinkle Conrado into any era with the tools and the weapons and his ability, he absolutely he could hang. And I think he could, win at times. So when you say, could he beat Ellis? No, he's not going to dominate him. I don't think there's going to be dominance one way or the other. But I absolutely think he can. Leo, you've been around a long time. What do you think about that?
That I haven't seen enough Conrado. I haven't seen enough of Conrado to call that. But if they were to play like right now with Conrado's experience and Ellie, no, Ellie, just too good. Ellie's and the experience. Ellie's played so many, everything from juniors all the way up in pros. So based on what I know, Conrado, no, I would definitely have to, go with Ellie.
All right, Leo. So it looks like we were able to get Jamie into the back room here.
The green room.
Yeah, let's bring Jamie in. Let's bring his perspective for a few minutes. Jamie, we're not going to keep you long. We won't keep you long, buddy. We appreciate it. You made a really cool post. Thank you for joining us. Jamie, before we get going, just tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and what you do in racquetball.
Yeah, that was my 3rd U.S. Open. All off and on since I was with my dad at first, and then moving to Virginia, picked it back up, playing competitively for. I'm on the board of the for Racquetball. Actually, running my first tournament next week.
Time out, Leo. Is that Jamie's audio? Are we having an issue there?
Yeah, I think it's kind of cutting in and out.
Jamie, can you go out and come back in? Let's see.
Yeah, let's see if we can bring him out and bring him back in.
Just go out, come back in. We'll let you.
Sometimes that works. The good old start, restart.
Well, we seem to have fixed ours. Let's bring Jamie back and see if that works. All right, let's try that again, Jamie. Nice. Leo, what do you got for us there?
Are you on Wi-Fi, Jamie? Sometimes Wi-Fi struggles with the.
I am on Wi-Fi. Let me see. It is.
So Jamie was at the event. He said it's his 2nd U.S. Open. So he experienced third
U.S. Open.
His 3rd. He's experienced the Doug Ganem U.S. Opens. Jamie's a guest, a fan. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say you're a fan of being on the court. I know you watch it and you pay attention to it. We appreciate that. But that's what Leo and I try to do, Jamie, is, we want to hear from you guys too. And this is totally impromptu. We didn't plan this. Jamie's a racquetball player, just like all of us. And here he is. So go ahead, Jamie. Sorry, man. Hopefully the
Try it again.
Yeah, better. Hopefully the headphones work. No.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think they work.
Okay. Yeah. So I was at the US Open. My wife and I have gone on obviously there was that break because of COVID. We're on the fence this time around. She's happy. She's watching in the house, which is why.
How many timeouts do we get here? I gotta call another time.
Yeah, Brian said it's choppy. I'm sorry.
What rules are these? We're still choppy, Jamie. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Literally right.
All right, we'll get him to we'll bring him out and we'll get him to come back in.
I like this.
Hopefully
I like bringing in a fan, Leo, just like this, just bringing in a viewer of Beyond the Court. All right, Jamie, what do you got? What do you want to sit right next to your router?
He's gonna sit right next to the router.
So I'm going to a spot where I work on everything. Do we have success? Audio?
Let's try it and keep going.
Leo, go ahead.
Go for it.
I'll skip out. This was our on the fence on whether we went.
It's now working.
Dang
it.
Leo, any suggestions for Jamie before we kick him out?
Hardwire.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We're gonna kick you out for a second, Jamie. You mess with your stuff because we got an actually worse from somebody. Brian sent us actually worse. Yeah, sorry everybody. I mean, that's what happens. Hey, let's talk about Megan's comment right there, Leo. Look at that.
We tried.
You reading that?
Yeah, I am. I'm reading it. You know, it was obviously about the hotel and using one club, but they did use a second club. They used Fridley for one day. Now, I kind of wishing they would have used Fridley for a second day so that you could put some extra matches over there so you could take some of the stress off of putting everything at the one club. But, you know, there's costs involved. It's very costly to rent a Lifetime Fitness. So, you know, that could have been done for budget.
That was a money thing for sure. Let's be honest. I mean,
yeah,
there's no doubt because, I mean, I use 2 courts. You've run many tournaments, and I mean, look what Megan said. They used Fridley on Friday. I mean, I don't know. You were there, but I also know that it does cost money, so that had to be a financial thing.
All right, Jaime's back in the green room. You want to try one more time?
All right, let's do it. Let's bring him in.
Jamie, are you there?
All right, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah.
I like your ceiling. Nice ceiling.
That. Yeah.
Thank you.
Go for it. Much better. All right, so tell us, Jamie. Jamie, you had written some feedback on Facebook, and look, I didn't unfriend you from Facebook. The reason that we're not Facebook friends is because my account was somehow disabled and hacked. So I'm working to get back on Facebook. So that's why we're not connected. But you had put a post on Facebook. Go over that again and tell us what your thoughts were about the U.S. Open.
As I said in the book, in the Facebook post, it wasn't the U.S. Open. The great things about the tournament was the people who make the tournament. It didn't have the same staff. You didn't have the same interactions. I think some of them waiting for the shuttle and just shooting the crap with the people that are out there with you and the other players. That was a great experience that just wasn't part of this. This there though was mingling with the pros way more often. Typically, my level, that level gets shuttled off to the other courts, so we're never at the old U.S. Opens. So we didn't get to see a lot of the pros. We just got to see, our level and below. To be there at the pros was great. So having 14 courts available, one facility where we could have most of the players Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all playing in one facility. Positive. The downside of that was it was a lot of people from in corridor, so that one corridor behind the was a little tight, and the fact that you had people very nervous reffing because reffing and they're getting bumped and tried from people that are just trying to make their way through to the back of the tournaments. There's a little lack of clarity around why the ladies moved the quarters, or I think it's quarters and above. Historically, they've moved there, but the combining of the courts put the time way behind for the ladies on Saturdays and on Sunday, and that I think a little more of what was going on in that aspect. I loved having the ladies in the bigger court. I actually kind of wish they had a seating setup at the main court, similar to what they had for the ladies, because the ladies seating and having everybody kind of bent over the railing because the railing was a little too high, and they had to work with. But it did kind of basically have one row of people railing, and then one row of people all the way at the top, staying at the top of the bleachers, and then so something that could probably hold like 80, 90 people was probably holding just because we were missing the middle section of bleachers. But the other piece that was missing was it was general lack. I mentioned on there, I saw someone else mention it. We did there was supposed to be dinner, drinks with the pros, games with the pros, a signed racket with the pros. There was no drinks. It was, you got a signed t-shirt, and that was it. We found that out. We were supposed to start at 6. It got pushed. Schedules happen. No big deal. Transparency of, make a donation and then take what you get and cut it in half. I imagine the Gold Seat sponsors kind of a similar piece. But again, like this is their first time. We'll definitely be back. It was a great. I would liken it kind of like to the Oregon tournament or the Chicago tournaments. The bigger experience, it just wasn't the US Open. If they bring the show court back, better viewing, better views, I think they can get there.
Jamie, we're gonna.
It was a little choppy, but we made it through most of it.
We got it. We got most of it. Yeah, Jamie, if you could, we're gonna let you go. We appreciate you jumping on. Could you copy and paste what you wrote up about it and put it into the chat? Because it was awesome. It was super informative. This was a little choppy. We know you're loving it. You're big into the sport now. You're down in Virginia, and we appreciate your support of the sport. You said you'll go back. That's awesome. That was one of the questions I had. Sorry that the Pro-Am, wasn't what you expected. That was something that we always used to take a lot of pride in. I know I've done it many, many times, even when I was retired, and I would always have a brand new racket from, one of the companies, and we go take a picture on the court together, and it was a cool experience, and Pete was running around, and it was a lot more. Was that your first time doing the Pro-Am, James?
That's my first time.
Okay, so you've seen it run prior to, and you expected it to be like that.
Yeah, I had a friend who did it the previous year. He's like, it's awesome. If you can swing it, you got to have drinks with the pros, dinner, and then, the racket. Trophy wall, guys' racket, hanging up on the trophy wall. I was like, I want to do that.
Well, hey,
and then,
I'll tell you what, Leo and I and our sponsors and supporters, we promise when we do America's Open that it'll be a kick-ass experience for you. All right, James? So, hey, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Sorry it was a little choppy. Not sure if it was our end, your end, but tell your wife we said thank you so much. And we know that you have, a child plays, right? I mean, you have a junior playing in the house.
Yeah. So whole house played a dog to play, but not there yet.
Good. All right. Thank you so much. And is it Jamie or Jaime? I don't want to get that wrong.
Jamie.
Jamie.
Okay, cool.
We've called him Jaime long enough.
All right, Jamie. Well, Jamie, thank you. I'm Sudsy. That's Leo. This is Beyond the Court, Jamie, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks again, brother.
Thanks, Jamie.
Gotta love it, man. Just a real fan, loves the sport. It was a little bit choppy, but we got through it, Leo.
Got through it.
Well, give everyone, because I preferred Cliff Notes in high school. I don't know about you. Cliff Notes of Jamie's experience. Go ahead.
You know, he wanted to go down there and have a good time. It sounded like he did. It sounded like regardless of what happened last time, he still had a good time. Hopefully, and I heard that USA Racquetball will be sending out a survey. So make sure you fill out that survey. Make sure that you tell them exactly what you told us, so that they can make it,
everyone.
so that they can make it better for you.
Hey, let's keep it real. If we really read messages and texts and emails, like, why do people feel the need to tell us? You know, how many times you have to say, hey, if you have an issue, tell them, right? No offense. We appreciate it. This is not about you, the fan. It's actually, we just need more people.
So I want to address a comment that, oh, hold on one second.
Whoa,
I want to address, I want to address a comment that, that Joanne made. And I hope it's not the same comment as I heard some other people say, that Doug's first US Open was tough to do too, but that's not
he did. It was phenomenal. He nailed it.
Doug's first US Open. Yeah. So, you know, let's stop with it was everyone's first time or whatever it is. We had a blueprint for 25 years, and we have to make the best of it. So I don't want to hear first times and second times, because we already knew what to come to expect at the US Open. And I know you guys have heard me say it before, but I run over 200 tournaments, and people come to expect things. And when they don't get them, then you have to have an answer for that. It's hard to give people things and take them away. So it's not like nobody knew what the US Open was supposed to be like. We all knew what it was supposed to be like. We just had high expectations, and some of those expectations were not met.
You know, let's just, I want to comment on Joanne's, I think what she's saying here, Joanne Pomodoro, is that Doug didn't nail it for the amateurs. And this is, so Joanne, a little history about the event. I was there literally from the inception with Doug. The way Doug nailed it and his approach of that event, he made the event for the amateurs by highlighting the pros. It wasn't, he didn't go in and go, oh, this is just for the pros. He actually, his whole idea, his whole vision from day one was this visual spectacle, the Super Bowl of racquetball, the World Series of racquetball, is going to be the biggest and best event of the year. So how do you do that? Number one, you need the pros. You need the best players in the world. He highlighted that. So Joanne, to your point, bless you, Leo. I know you got some allergies going. To your point, Joanne, what if they just took all the pros away? Would you still go? Yes, you would, right? Because you'd go. It's a cool tournament, but it better be a kick-ass tournament. But that's what brings the pros. Jeff Wright says the US Open is about the pros. I agree, Jeff, in the sense that, yeah, that's the magnet. That's what people want to see. Sorry, Joanne, I don't want to misquote you. Leo, we can talk about that. Maybe we can actually have Joanne on at some point. I don't want to.
Yeah, we can.
I guess she said that's not what she meant. So Joanne, I'll just speak, and this is not about your comment. When Doug built this event, it was to be this visual, incredible spectacle, which would engage any level of amateur player. And with that, he treated, I remember some of the things, you know, I've been asked all the time. It was the first time that I ever felt like a professional athlete. You know, Leo, being a pro racquetball player, it's not that glorious all the time and exotic and super exciting. And, you know, going to the US Open when it was being run that way, we actually felt like pro elite athletes. It was really, really cool. You know, so that changed a lot. As far as sponsorships, you know, a lot of people don't realize, you know, Steve Castleberry, United Healthcare sponsorship loss, very hard to overcome. You're not wrong. But do you think that they just found out about that this year? Doug announced his retirement 5 years ago in 2017. So there's always three sides to every story, right? One, the other, and maybe the absolute truth. We'll have Doug on one day. We will. We'll have Doug talk about it. He wasn't ready. I asked him. Doug's a dear friend of mine. And he wasn't ready to discuss it. So we'll see. But Leo, it's just different. And maybe this is an opportunity to recreate the US Open as we know it. Would you do it in Minneapolis still with everything have seen? And again, I know that's a loaded question because the question is, well, where can we do it? Would you keep it there or would you consider moving it?
Yeah, to touch on the Doug Ganem comment about the amateurs, one thing I do want to share with you all as part of that staff for 20 years, we would have a meeting, I want to say Monday or Tuesday night, and Doug would always remind us of a handful of things. And one of the most important things that Doug reminded us of every year was this very important statement, whatever you want to call it. All right.
Like his mission statement.
Absolutely. Doug would say, remember, there are so many divisions here that 50% of the people are going to lose in the first round. They don't do consolation at the US Open. All right.
Can't. Too many people, too many matches.
Exactly. Those 50% of the people that lose in the first round, those are the ones that he wanted to ask the extra questions. All right. You come across a guy lost in the first round, then Doug reminded us, don't forget, ask him, how did he play? Is he playing in another division? Did he get a, ask him some questions because those guys lose in the first round. And he did that every year. So just so that you guys know that it wasn't always all about the pros. It was about the amateurs. Doug knew that people spent thousands of dollars to come to the US Open and not only play in it, but buy the tickets, buy the souvenirs, buy the gold boxes. So I thought that was pretty cool that, even up to the last day of the US Open, Doug still reminded us about the 50% rule.
Yeah. Brian says, do you know if the USAR lost money, broke even, made money on this event? Brian, Leo and I have run events, and I would say that they absolutely had to lose money. I can't see how they made money. Again, that's not good. Not good for the state of our sport. Leo, you've run many more events. Any chance they actually profited off this event?
I don't know. Luckily that's not my job, is to sweat that, because I'd be sweating it. I'd be sweating a $72,000 payout. That's going to be one of your bigger expenses. Then you've got club rentals. Nothing is free. And like Mike Coulter said, putting on a tournament, costs go up. Sudsy, everything costs: cups, plates, napkins, staff, rental, awards, shirts, the drapery and, the rental stuff that they had to use for the event. So everything costs
everything you see costs money.
Everything. So it would be tough to say. I don't want to pass judgment on anybody at all, but from a financial standpoint, it would be tough to see some profit out of that event without having a major sponsor like United Healthcare. They had a few sponsors on the wall. Those look like our regular industry sponsors. Thank goodness for them. And regular, I mean the ones that have sponsored USA Racquetball on the tour throughout the years. So it's not like they're bringing additional revenue to the US Open.
Understood. Fair enough. Let's hope so. Right. How long? Okay. I mean, we can go on and on, Leo.
Yeah, the U.S. Open for me was good. Like some other people have said.
That question, those will be in the financials, right? People will be able to see if the U.S. Open made money. It's a nonprofit.
It is a non-profit, but it takes a little bit of time for for that information to make its way out into the public. Some of it is confidential. Get some more good comments at Prokenix with some nice comments about the event, and constructive criticism is what Bob Foster labeled it earlier. I would hope that it is considered constructive criticism, just because of your and I's background in not only running but attending events, and the fans too. They're the ones that are speaking. So here's a comment right here from Jerry Hines. It says he didn't notice anything about an auction that the U.S. Open usually had. Did they not have it?
Di Perconti, Raffle House.
Yeah, no, not this year.
Yeah, but how do you not include them? I mean, noticeable absence. Sal and Di Perconti, Raffle House. How are they not there?
Yeah, Raffle House. We also supported the JDRF, the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. That was also one of the charities for the U.S. Open. So, for whatever reason, we don't know why that didn't happen. So, maybe that would have been nice to know. The fans obviously wanted to know.
I got a question, just because this was something that came across, and I saw it a couple places also. The color guard, always there doing the national anthem before the finals. Another absence this year, huh? Not there.
Believe it or not, Sud, some people did mention that at the U.S. Open. Somebody said, "Hey, are we going to get the color guard?" Some VIPs had said that, and they were asking me. I said, "I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they'll just play the national anthem, and you could put a flag up on the screen or something." But no, and I don't know. To me, playing the national anthem it gives you the goosebumps. You get the goosebumps even when you watch it on TV before an NBA game or a NASCAR or the NFL or whoever. So yeah, that was missing as well.
Then it sounds like they have some room to improve for sure, to get better, obviously, right? And that's the key. I mean, if we told Conrado today, you're the greatest player in the world, you don't have to do anything to get better. He might not get better. He might not improve, right?
Yeah, outside of those things there for the players, I'm sure for the pros, it was great. Some other people had mentioned, bringing the women over to that one main show court. It just kind of kept funneling men and women and men and women and men and women. And it was just back and forth. And, the matches were amazing. All of the best players in the world were there minus a couple, like we talked about, between Rhonda and Maria, Monsi and Kane. But everybody was there. Cliff Swain made an appearance. Cliff was there. So as far as the competition, the competition was there. Conrado did what he was supposed to do, which I talked to him earlier in the week, and he had great energy and he looked confident and he carried himself kind of like the champion before the tournament started. So I liked what I saw from Conrado. I hope that he can keep it going. I hope, that we can continue to see some more results from him.
Yeah, I think we will. I think he's a badass. He's got all the potential. Paola does it again. She just gets it done. Think about that. Talking about the U.S. Open, we didn't even mention it. She just goes out and does it again. Beats Erica in a tiebreaker, but it really wasn't that close after the first game. What was it like being there watching that match? What was your vibe? You've seen a lot of competitive racquetball. Like, does Erica think she can beat her yet? Like, because I saw after that first game, it was Erica to me. I think I commented during the match. She has all these weapons, all these tools. She still has some things she's got to work out to take that next level to get to number one. But I can see it. I was telling Veronica while we were watching. I mean, literally 0-0 in the second game towards the end of the first. I said, Erica, this is different now for her. This is a different feel. She can feel it, see it, taste it, almost touch it. How's she going to respond? And that's a new feeling. So it's important that she went through that. You don't always win that the first time. What was it like for you?
Yeah, watching that first game, Erica played lights out. Everything it seemed that came off of her racket went her way. It was amazing. It was a great game. But to be honest, it looked like Paola just, she has another gear, just like you had it, just like Kane had it, Cliff. All the great players have an extra gear, and the level of play starts to rise when you get pushed. If you don't get pushed, then the level of play doesn't seem to rise as much because you guys are in control. You're winning. You know what you're capable of doing. So I think we saw that in Paola. I think we saw that next gear that she has that nobody really pushed her to in the tournament yet. So it was good to see Erica push her. We've seen Brenda do it. Monsi has done it. Alexandra has done it. So now that these girls know that Paola has another gear, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we won't talk about this, but I got to mention John Goff, my man up in Minnesota. What's up, John? I did hear about this, John. I received many messages. Leo and I were going to have the TMZ of Racquetball crew go check it out, but we did hear there was some fireworks at the ladies' doubles. But we're not going to talk about that because, some of that included some friends and some confidants. And let's just say, emotions get heated, Leo. Things happen. It wasn't between the players. We'll leave it at that, right, Leo?
No one got kicked out. Emotions run high. No one got kicked out. Emotions run high. Some people were acting one way. Some people were acting a different way. I get it. And like you said, we don't want to get into it too much, but I will say one gentleman in particular, even though he was probably, a little invaded in his space, handled it very well, like a gentleman, when he probably could have had somebody removed, but he didn't. And the match went on. And I'm just kind of glad that there was no big disruption outside the court, because the focus needs to be what was going on inside the court instead of outside the court. So,
yeah, it was.
Leave it at that.
Good point. Good point. Let's touch on this, Billy. Billy, what's up, Sudsy? What do you think it will take to draw bigger exposure like ESPN? All right, I'm going to give you guys my plan. If you want to talk more about it, you tell me when. Leo, and I want to hear your thoughts. And then we're going to kind of move on from all this, all right? So everybody get your notepads out, get your biggest contacts out with the checkbook, and I'll tell you what I think where we're at, what we need to do. We need to create demand. It's great to talk about all these events, US Open, LPRT, IRT, but all of you watching, we're going to be there. Everybody on Instagram, you're going to be there. You're going to go to these events. We're going to want them to happen, and good things happen, Leo. We know that, right? But Billy, here's what we need. We need somebody to build a court. Does not have to be portable. That ship has sailed, okay? Where it's not about the portable court. We went through that, Leo. You remember. We're going to take the portable court. We're going to put it in high traffic areas, right? And then, oh my God, people are going to be excited to play. What's the problem, Leo? Where are the courts? If you give me a court right now, a portable court, and I put it over here on a pier at the beach, who am I getting? Okay, I'm going to get some tourists. I'm going to get locals. And then they're going to go, where can I go play? And there's no courts, right? If there's no LA Fitness. So we got to create demand in the sport. When you create demand in the sport, it's going to create the investors to want to build more racquetball courts, okay? So here's the court we need, Billy. No, it doesn't have to be in a high traffic area. I need a court made for television. I need a court that is built specifically to the masses, to not us. We love the sport. We're always going to love it. We're always going to be involved. I need to build a visual spectacle that we can put on in every bar in America. We can push it to everybody's device in their hand, every iPad. Everything's done online now. Amazon Prime has, 100 million members? Everybody's always looking for content. This court that we build, I don't care where it is. Billy, it could be in your backyard, okay? There's going to be an LED screen. Leo, we might paint it dark like squash does. Use a white ball. We might have to change the rules. But here's the bottom line. You're going to change the sport to build a visual spectacle that people are going to want to watch and pay attention to it. We're going to create the demand. Look, Chewy's right there with you now, Leo. We created some demand. Pick them up. Show everybody Chewy. All right. Once we create that demand, people will then go do it. Billy, that court's going to have an LED front wall And as soon as there's downtime, when Rocky Carson's serving or somebody's wiping up a floor, there's highlights going on that front wall. The scoreboard's on the front wall, okay? We might dress the players different. We might change some of the rules to make it look better. I can't give you all of that because then you're not going to hire me as your consultant and advisor. That court's going to cost close to $1 million. Now everybody's going to say, okay, well, what about when Slimo wants to have a tournament in Virginia? Or somebody wants, the Manias want to have it in California. That's not working. You guys can still do it. You're going to do it at our court that's made for TV. We're going to put that and we're going to pump it and push it through. And we're going to have people looking at it on their devices, men and women. We're going to mix it. That's part of the idea. I'm going to leave it at that. Leo, what are your thoughts real quick on that? I mean, this was totally impromptu. You know, we're just talking here on Beyond the Court. That's where I think we need to go because LA Fitness, they have us by the Pro Pen green and blue and purple balls. If they pull it, we're done. Lifetime's not doing anything. Us racquetball players, we don't have to cater to us. We're going to be there. The 4,000 USAR members, we're always going to play. All right. So, yeah, Billy, let's call it close to $1 million. We'll talk about it further if you want. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah, you know, it's the great it's the $1 million question on the other side of the coin. Why doesn't LA Fitness just take over racquetball? I guess they don't see the value in it. You know, they have all the courts. They are taking courts out in some parts of the country, but not a lot of parts of the country from what I'm hearing. So, you know, somebody needs to sell them on the viability of racquetball because they are in the game. They have skin in the game. They have the courts, and that's all you need. They have the facilities. That's all you need. You could take
create the demand. We have to create the demand.
Exactly. And they have it.
No, they have where we can push them. They don't have demand. You know, I was in a local LA Fitness not too long ago, and I walked up to the manager and I go, "Hey, it really must suck looking at those four." And he had no idea who I am. And he goes, I go, "It must suck looking at those 4 racquetball courts empty, right?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "You know, it's just we don't know. You know, we don't care." That's part of the problem too. They just don't know. They're not educated about how a racquetball member will stay a racquetball playing member forever, where the fitness member comes in and out. We got to create the demand. I want to go to all those personal trainers, all those different types of sports and say, "Can I show you the benefits of racquetball and why you're a little baseball player or softball, basketball, volleyball that you think is going to be a pro, how racquetball can help them?" That's what I was doing when I was younger. I was playing racquetball. It made me a better athlete and everything else. It wasn't the other way around. But ultimately, I still have to create a visual spectacle, create demand, so that investors like our own Keith Miner, who built this incredible pickleball facility, who's a racquetball player with passion, okay? He didn't build a facility with 10 or 12 racquetball courts because he's a businessman. So he built a pickleball facility. But if there was a way that we can show value or interest and people wanting to participate, then maybe, you know, we can spin it around. But portable court at this point isn't the answer.
Yeah, I agree. You know, it's part of the creating the demand is to use that portable court. You know, that's just part of the equation. So
correct.
You know, got a lot of comments. I like it. Ideas about promoting the game, creating the demand, and hopefully these comments can be used by somebody that will be the new executive director, which is a topic that we're going to talk about tonight.
Hey, Jen, there are no membership fees to play outdoor, but there's also unless it's a USAR sanctioned event, you could play the Treasure Coast series without having a membership. That doesn't grow demand. That doesn't, not sanctioning an event. Those players are going to be there anyway. So you're absolutely right, Jen. I think that's a part of it too. Let's just get as many people as we can with a racket or any sort of a racket and a ball in your hand. I don't care if it's indoor or outdoor. Let's just create demand for racquetball. Real quick, because I don't want to dodge this, Leo.
Bring it up.
Brian right there, and then we'll get into the USAR thing. Kane update. Brian, yes, I know exactly what is going on with Kane, and this is what he asked his response to be, and we will at some point have him on the show as a guest. Anyone out there that's interested, try to reach out to him and ask him. Maybe he'll get back to you. Maybe he won't. But that's his answer. And, it's not my place or my position to tell you exactly what's going on with him. But, hey, there's tons of social media options. Have at it.
Coming soon.
That's all I could say, brother. Other than that, we'll probably have him on at some point. All right, Leo, USAR, executive director search.
Yeah, kind of a curious topic.
Seems like a seriously important position.
It's a very curious topic, especially coming out of the U.S. Open. For those of you that may not remember, Mike Waddell had resigned as executive director from USA Racquetball. That was going to be effective this past Friday. So after this past Friday, Stuart Solomon is the interim executive director. Stuart is also the president of USA Racquetball. So we are in a executive director search. On the last Real Racquetball show, Stuart Solomon said that he was preparing the job search posting and would be releasing some information soon. Thoughts from our...
Yeah, I'll give you my thoughts, and then I'm just answering somebody. I don't get it, Leo. You and I hear things more than most. My understanding was that they had somebody lined up to move right into the position, ready to go. What's the holdup? This is something we need. We need somebody in there as the executive director. I understand Stuart is the interim executive director. I get that. But, I did hear, and I know you heard the same, didn't they have somebody ready to go to take that spot right away?
Yeah, it's a delicate situation only because, you've got an executive director that's leaving, and then you've got...
Our sports life is delicate.
Yeah, I get that. And, but there's still some moving parts to this, and there's a lot of moving parts because the executive director is in charge of everything. This is an employee. It's not a board member. It's not a volunteer. It's not something that you can say, hey, I'll do it next week. I'm not getting paid for this. You are running the day-to-day operations of USA Racquetball, and that covers a lot more than probably what most people think. So a lot of things, a lot of moving parts, things have to be done. Contracts have to be written. There will be a contract or some kind of a formal agreement in place for the new executive director. So still some work to do, some housekeeping to do, some internal things to do. You've got to transition. You got Stuart kind of coming in. He's kind of new to the operations of USA Racquetball. He'll have to learn, and whoever they're talking to or whatever they're doing. We don't know what they're doing, but whatever they're doing,
Does anybody know what they're doing? What's going on, everyone? Who's running the show? Who's leading Racquetball's charge, leading the ship here? And Leo, it's getting tough, buddy. It's getting tough, isn't it?
Somebody said Frozen. What is Frozen in the chat? So we will wait for USA Racquetball to publish any information on the executive director job search. It'll probably come via their website first, and then they usually email the members. They push it out to social media. So, as soon as we hear it, we'll share it, but there is no news coming out of that office about the executive director search.
Any desire to be the executive director?
Say that again.
Any desire to be the executive director?
For you?
You?
No, not at all. Thank you.
Yeah. Joel, Sudsy, why did you take your name out of the hat? Joel, writing was on the wall. I don't believe the current business model works for this to succeed. I think that's in the executive notes. I found that online, actually, that even Steve Zarnicki, what's Steve Zarnicki's board position, Leo?
For those that don't know, Steve Zarnicki is the former executive director of USA Racquetball. Steve brings a very extensive background with him.
What's his role? What's his role on the board currently, though?
Yeah, so he left USA Racquetball as the executive director, and surprisingly, he serves now on the board of directors on the executive committee. He is the treasurer for USA Racquetball, so he is in charge of the financials.
So, Joel, to answer your question, and Leo, correct me if I'm wrong, Steve Zarnicki, who is he's on the executive committee. He is the treasurer, Leo, correct? He actually wrote that he doesn't believe under the current business model we're going to succeed. I agree. I think we need somebody to go in there that's going to be accountable, responsible. I don't know if you can do it with a nonprofit, but you got to cut through a lot of red tape, got to make decisions, got to have energy, vision, relationships. And so, Joel, that's why currently I have no interest and I'm completely out of consideration. In fact, I don't know how long I can stay full time just doing this here in racquetball. That's a whole nother discussion. So we'll talk about that another time, Leo. Who knows how long I'll be sitting here and this is my day-to-day livelihood, right? But that's not for now. So I don't know, Leo. I mean, I get it, but you want to answer Jamie's question?
Yeah, Jamie has a question. Member voted position. It's a board vote. So Jamie, the board of directors will seek applications, and people will be interviewed, and then the selection committee or the hiring committee or search committee will submit their recommendations to the board, and then it will be voted on by the board.
So, all right. So what we heard about there might be somebody ready to go, just I guess isn't happening. I guess we got all the time in the world and all the money in the world, and it's no sense of urgency. That's another thing I think we need, Leo, is sense of urgency. I don't know. It is what it is. Joanne, do they fear my energy? No, I don't think so. I just think that a lot of people fear change. Leo, you've been there a while, or you were part of it. I think that some people just get comfortable and they don't like pushback, or maybe there's another way. And again, I think there's some amazing people at USA Racquetball in our sport. And I just think, like Brian said, it's a huge sense of urgency. TikTok, the US Open is one of the biggest fundraisers or revenue generators of the year. And we don't even know if we made any money there. So who knows? Thanks, Joanne. Yeah, no, I'm out. Yeah, Leo, I'm out. Who knows? Who knows how much longer we'll be doing this? Leo, I think we got to come to the end of the show. But before we do, let's talk real quick. Tell everybody what's going on with this event right here. What's happened?
Yep, the Treasure Coast Racquetball Series, for those of you that may not know, is sold out. Number 3, October 21st to the 23rd. It is still not too late to sign up for number 4. We're going to get our little ticker going at the bottom for you guys to remind you. Number 4 series will be November the 18th through the 20th. Just go to sudsymunchik.com. It's so easy to sign up. You don't have to be a USAR member. You don't have to fill a bunch of stuff out. You don't need a password. You log in, name, email, shirt size, division, done. I love it. It's a great way. It's quick. It's easy. And even if you don't get signed up, just go hang out. If you're in the area, stop by. It's free
Leo's
to watch,
coming.
right?
We got Chad Bailey, assistant tournament directors, in the room. Chad, we might
Get an appearance from Chad.
Number 5 a little bit bigger. Right? We might go to a little bit bigger venue. Just a couple more courts. We need more courts. We only got 2, man. We only got 2 courts. I need more
for
courts.
that event. Yeah. For that event, we only have 2 courts.
What? Leo, let me ask you. You've run way more events than I, and Chad and anybody else in there. Why do my events sell out so fast? I know we can only take up to 50 people, but why is it? I mean, we're what, 2 weeks out of the next one. I've been sold out a week. I'm going to release the draws. What is it that we can teach other people that want to do these types of events that'll help? I know your Dovetail event that you're part of is kicking ass. So what is it? Why is it just staying on it? Is it constant pushing?
It's marketing, and it's making it easy for people. Looking, if you're watching the show tonight and you want me to enter you in the Dovetail Open, just send me a message and I'll enter you. It's that easy. That's what most tournament directors do. They communicate. They answer emails. They reply back. I had a guy today email me and ask me very simply, "Can you enter me in the tournament?" Yes. I figure.
I asked you to enter me and Veronica in the Dovetail.
Look, I figure if you're going to make the effort to enter, then you're going to make the effort to come. All right. And if you're not going to come, then you just let me know before the deadline, and I take you out, and I'm not going to take your money. Okay. I'm going to make it as easy as possible as I can for you, if you will make it as easy as possible for me. So I think that's what you've done with your players. They know that. They know that you put on a good event. Other event directors do the same thing. They communicate with the players. Every tournament director might have an audience of 50, 100, 200. That's not that many players. That's not that many people that you have to take care of. So I think it's just a testament to how you run your event from start to finish.
I thank you and Chad for really assisting, getting that event going. And we're at number 3. It's sold out. We're going to get number 4 and 5 going. And Chad, I agree. I mean, it's so much fun for me, Leo. You haven't been to one yet, but because we have those 2 courts, it's so cool. I just sit there. I'm there every match, especially when Veronica's playing. And I'm commentating or I'm actually giving instruction to like the group and the fans watching as to what we see. It's like a constant clinic going on. And it's a lot of fun for me too, man. I really enjoy it. So I'm going to keep that model up. A couple people said, "Hey, is 1 through 5 it, or are we going to keep going?" Oh no, we're going to keep going. Even if I'm not for some reason full-time or if racquetball's not my number one source of revenue or I have another focus, I'll continue to do events, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe. I have the LPRT event that I'm going to do. I'm moving that one, Leo. It was scheduled for January. We're going to move it to May or June. Still waiting to hear from TJ at the LPRT. What's a better event? I'd like to move it to the summertime in Florida. It's cheaper for the ladies to come, more affordable. And maybe, hopefully we could be the last or one of the last events of the year. It'll be really cool. So we're still going to have the LPRT event. And again, I can't talk about events without saying, thank you to the sponsors. It just doesn't happen without all of them. And, you can't thank them enough. Every one of them, I don't have to ask twice, man. Love you guys. Thank you. I'm not going to go into it right now. We do it all the time. We will do more, but we appreciate it. And for any of you that haven't been to a Treasure Coast, come out, go enter, man. It's fun. We're going to get Leo to one, and we're going to have fun. We're going to have a good time.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Like I said, I'm putting on the Dovetail Open November 3rd through the 6th. It's an IRT event in Sarasota, Florida. We are looking for sponsors as well. So if you're interested in sponsoring that event, reach out to me. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in Florida. I can't wait. This is a Team Dovetail event. So big thank you to Mike Kinkin, my sponsor as well. And we're gonna throw down on it. We're gonna have a good time. We're bringing all the pros. We already got a lot of amateurs signed up, so I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome event, Leo. I'm looking forward to that. Always fun hanging with you. Veronica will be in it. Who knows? I might enter something. We'll see. We'll see what happens. The LPRT event, Jamie, that we're going to do, we're going to move it. Likely move it to a facility that has 4 courts. Chad Bailey says, "Can I help in May or June?" Chad, you're locked in, man. You're godfathered in. We're not going. And again, behind the scenes, Leo, we got the Instagram cameras going for us here, which is cool. So if you follow my Instagrams at Sudsy Munchik,
we're live right now.
You'll see we're live. So you got a different view. And for everybody at home, every time you see me doing this, I'm checking the Mets Padres update over here. It's off to my right. I'm watching the game because this is it. If the Mets lose, they're out. But I am a Yankee fan born and raised, but I do love to see any New York team do well. So with that, guess what, Leo? My Yankees are starting up this week. I got a big week, man. I got a birthday on Wednesday. What are we going to do for my birthday?
Birthday show.
I don't know about that. Maybe Veronica has something planned. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. But, Leo, I think I'm good for the night, man. We've been running almost 2 hours. Any last thoughts before we close it out here, bro?
Yeah, I want to just ask you guys in the comments because Sudsy and I, we always go back after these shows and we read through all the comments.
No, you're better
And,
than me. I do read them all, but you're amazing at it. So keep it up.
well, tonight might be a little bit of a challenge for me. And while we're on here, before I say goodnight, I had some issues on Facebook, and so I'm not on Facebook right now. My Facebook was disabled and hacked, and I'm having an issue getting back into it. So I may not be able to read these comments. I don't know how long it's going to take for me to get back on. Trust me, I'm trying. I'm running into, it seems like a loop where it's telling me to log in to file an appeal, but I can't log in because I don't have the correct password. So I'm having some issues, you guys. But in the comments, I do have another way to go in and look at comments. So,
oh, well, you better.
I want to see in the comments, what you guys think about the show. What do you guys want to see more of? We do every couple days. Suds and I like to meet. We try to get topics. We try to talk to guests. So, who do you want to see on the show? What do you want to see us talk about? Are we talking about the U.S. Open too much? Are we not?
I think we're done with it. We're done with the U.S. Open.
I think we should be. I really think we should be. I think that like we've said, the fans have spoken. And if you don't listen to them, then there's a problem. Okay. So keep speaking, keep talking, but we want to know for the show. We think, if you guys are going to give us your focus, your attention, your time, we want to make it the best for you. So let us know in the comments. Even after the show ends, you can still go in there and you can still comment. Let us know what you want to see, what you want to hear, who you want to see more of, what you want to see less of, because we want to keep the show going. Suds and I do this, because we love the sport, but at the same time, we're trying to stay in the sport. That's going to be part of our 24-hour show. We're going to use it for a fundraiser so that we can keep doing it. So, no, I mean, I love doing this thing. I love reading the fans. I wasn't going to come on tonight. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm having a severe allergy attack. I've been in Austin for almost 2 years, and I've only had allergies twice, and this is the second time. So, no, thanks for having me on the show tonight, Suds. It was great. I love doing it. I love hearing from the fans. I try not to be negative. I do try to be positive, but I always want you guys to know that I'm always going to tell you how I feel, and I'm always going to tell you the truth. So,
I mean, that's what we need to do, Leo. That's part of our responsibility. That's when, Beyond the Court was created. Scotty Mac, Ellie, thank you for that. We did that because we wanted to communicate. And Leo, we've come together to do that as well, because I think that both of us are doing a good job on social media communicating. We also have a really good, finger on the pulse of our sport and the fans. And I think that's important. So, it's not about critiquing. It's just about hearing the other stuff. We could just go crazy and have fun and, talk about things that aren't relevant. But let's be honest, truth be told, we need our sport to survive. And we're going to continue to do everything we can. So we'll continue the show. We'll talk more about our 24-hour Beyond the Court, which is definitely going to happen. All right. The 24 hours is going to happen. And like Leo said, when we do this, we're not being paid. We don't have any sponsors. You see, we're not running too many commercials. Anything you see, that's a personal private sponsor. And we're going to it's going to kind of be a 24-hour. Leo and I are going to run 24 hours. We're going to run guests through, and it's going to be a
stars. I'm going to be asking for stars.
No stars. We're going to do Venmos and Zelle and PayPal.
Stars.
And Leo and I are just going to 50-50 it. We got to work. We're going to work hard for 24 hours. It should be fun. Hey, by the way, Jim Heiser's event. Let's not forget that, Leo. Give everybody a quick update on that.
Ooh, we had to wait. Jim wanted us to wait on this, and I don't know why. So let's wait till they get to the U.S. Open. I said, no way, Jose. Okay, this is your event. It's time to shine. Put this on your calendar. It's way early, but it's never too early to put a good time on your calendar. It's August the 10th through the 13th. It shouldn't even be considered a mini U.S. Open event. Jim is going to go all out on this event. We're going to do a good build up to it. I can't tell you enough things about it. It's everything that you will want in an event. And the best thing that, we have a committee of people, and we meet, we share emails, and we are going to make this a premier event for everybody. So August the 10th through the 13th, go to www.worldsinglesdoubles.com. We're about to put up the R2 link, the hotel link, the sponsorship packages, the reserve seating. It's going to be a great event.
Leo, tell everybody about it right here too. Back by popular demand, we had to bring back more bags. If I really should have made, a few hundred, because everybody seems to want one. So check it out. We're going to do a quick bag raffle. All right. And Leo and I are going to pull the winner. So even on Instagram, you'll see this soon, will be November 11, 2022. Why 11/11? 11's my favorite number. So there it is. You're going to you could buy tickets, 1 ticket, 3 tickets, 5, 7, 10, 100 tickets, however many you want. Bag is brand new. We're going to send it to you. We're going to pull the winner live. Hey, maybe we'll send all the tickets to someone else and let them pick it from somewhere else. Who knows? All the info will be there. I'll post it on social media. You're going to send a Venmo or a Zelle for your tickets. We'll write your name on a ticket. We'll send you a picture of confirmation and get a chance to win that cool custom bag. It's pretty awesome. So I'm looking forward to that. All right.
Fun stuff. Fun
Leo,
stuff. I love that.
I think, how did everybody like the Instagram live over here? It was pretty cool. All right.
Hi, everybody on Instagram live. Suds has his camera off to the side. I've got mine over here. Thanks you guys for tuning in. And before I go, I do want to say thank you to Keith Miner at KWM Gutterman. You know why I'm thanking you. And Mike Kinkin at Team Dovetail. You know why I'm thanking you. Thank you to Sudsy. Thank you to you know why. Mike Coulter. Thank you. You know why. I can't give you guys the details, but all I got to do, or all I want to do is say thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you.
Well, Leo, hey, thank you. And it's things like that, a simple thank you. Thank you for joining me as always. It's always fun. We're always constantly trying to do more. We've never spoken or been in more communication than we have recently. And I think it's important because I think racquetball really needs as much of the sport out there as we can bring and anyone can bring. So thanks for being part of this, Leo. And I look forward to being in Vegas with you. We'll probably be on a show before then, but Vegas is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of stuff going on. I was representing Jake today. Jake, little beast made the finals. Congrats. Cool stuff here. Thank you, Keith Miner, KWM, of course.
Game changers.
That's
his pickleball place.
Thank you to the sponsors of my event. Thanks to Mike Kinkin for supporting you and Team Dovetail. We appreciate that. Of course, Performance Chemicals, Sal and Di Percanti. You're just incredible. Frank Hotels, Angels on Earth. You guys, love you to death. Without you, it doesn't happen. Veronica, my love of my life. I'm not in this sport today if it wasn't for you. I love you. So everyone that always says that, Leo, you know what I say. I'm like, go thank her. That's, she was my motivation. She was my inspiration to be back in here and giving every ounce of energy I have. And I'll continue to do it as long as I can. Racquetball will always be part of me. It will never leave. I'll always be involved. Just who knows how long I can use it to motivate others and to drive others. And we'll see what happens, but maybe there'll be some good positive changes coming here for Veronica and I in the near future also. To all the fans, to all the players watching here on YouTube, on Instagram Live, on Facebook, on Twitter. I even have it running live on Twitter. I love you guys. Love you guys. Love you ladies. Thank you so much. Love you all. Just keep it up. You keep us going. You inspire us. You motivate us. And Leo and I will certainly be back. Go get your raffle ticket right now. I'm going to post this up. We'll throw it in the chat and get a bag, all right? I'm going to leave you with this commercial. Leo and I are going to say goodnight. Get out there tomorrow. Go hit the ball hard and low. Work on that backhand splat. Leo, I want you working on the reverse pinch, all right, brother?
See you in Vegas.
Good night, everyone.